Hi, Reddit. I'm Jake, 26, and last year, my parents forced me to join a gym. Not for my health, not because I wanted to, but because my sister was getting married, and they thought I was too embarrassing to be in the wedding photos. I went along with it just to shut them up. But what happened a year later? Well, let's just say it didn't go the way they expected. I always knew my parents played favorites. My older sister, Lily, was their perfect golden child. Straight A student, well-mannered, engaged to a respectable guy from a good family. And then there was me, the disappointment. I wasn't particularly ambitious, had a regular job, and according to them, I let myself go. Which, to be fair, wasn't entirely wrong. I wasn't overweight, but I wasn't ripped either. I liked my food. I liked my video games. And I liked not being judged every 5 seconds for how I looked. But apparently, my existence was a problem, because one night, during dinner, my mom dropped the bomb. "Jake, you need to lose some weight before Lily's wedding." I blinked. "What?" My dad nodded. "We signed you up for a gym membership." I scoffed. "You what?" Mom sighed dramatically, like I was being unreasonable. "Honey, we're only trying to help. You'll be in so many pictures, and we just want you to look presentable. Presentable. Like I was some charity case they needed to fix before shoving me in front of a camera." Lily, of course, said nothing. She just sat there, stirring her soup, letting them do her dirty work. I leaned back, crossing my arms. "So let me get this straight. You don't care about my health. You don't care about what I want. You just don't want me to ruin Lily's wedding aesthetic." Dad rolled his eyes. "Don't be dramatic." Mom smiled like she was doing me a favor. "You'll thank us later." No, I wouldn't. But I also knew arguing was pointless. So I shrugged. "Fine. Whatever." They beamed like they just solved world hunger. I had no intention of actually going. But as it turned out, that decision was about to change my life. The next day, I showed up at the gym just to get them off my back. I figured I'd walk on the treadmill for 10 minutes, snap a sweaty selfie as proof, and go grab a burger afterward. But then I met Ryan. Ryan was one of the trainers. Mid-30s. Built like a damn superhero, but not in a douchey way. He saw me standing there, looking lost, and walked over. "First time?" I nodded. "Yeah, got signed up against my will." He smirked. One of those." I sighed. "Yeah. My parents think I'm too embarrassing for my sister's wedding." His smile faded. "Damn, that's rough." I shrugged. I'm used to it." He tilted his head. "So, what's the plan?" I blinked. "The plan?" He grinned. "Are you just here to check a box? Or do you actually want to see what you can do?" That was the first time someone didn't make me feel like crap about my body. Ryan didn't treat me like a project, didn't guilt me, didn't act like I was a lost cause. He just asked what I wanted. And for some reason, I decided to find out. I kept coming back. Not for my parents. Not for Lily. For me. Ryan helped me figure out a routine, one that didn't make me want to die. At first, it sucked. My muscles ached. I hated cardio, and I was tempted to quit every single day. But then, something changed. I started feeling different. Not just physically, mentally. I had more energy. I slept better. My confidence, slowly creeping back. And the best part? My parents had no idea. Months passed, and suddenly, the wedding was only a few weeks away. I had lost weight, sure, but more than that, I had transformed. My body was stronger, leaner, more defined. My posture changed. My face looked different. I wasn't the same guy who walked into that gym months ago, and I was about to prove it. The week before the wedding, Mom called me downstairs. I walked in, and they were all there. Mom, Dad, Lily, her fiancé, the whole picture-perfect crowd. Mom clapped her hands. "Okay, sweetheart. Let's see if your suit fits." I smirked. "Yeah, let's." She handed me the same suit they got for me months ago, 2 sizes too big. I took it, went upstairs, and put it on. And when I walked back down, their faces said it all. Mom blinked. "It's big." Dad frowned. "You lost weight." I crossed my arms. "Guess I did." Lily's fiancé, who had barely spoken to me before, suddenly looked impressed. "Dude," he said, "you look good." Lily elbowed him. Mom forced a smile. "Well, I suppose that's nice." I grinned. "Oh, it gets better." Then I rolled up my sleeves. And that's when they saw it. My arms weren't just toned. They were ripped. Defined muscle, veins popping. Mom's jaw dropped. Lily's fiancé muttered, "Holy shit." And Lily? She actually looked pissed. Because for once in her life, she wasn't the center of attention. Mom cleared her throat. "Well, that's unexpected." Dad nodded. "Guess the gym was a good idea after all." I chuckled. "Oh, for sure." Then I leaned forward, lowering my voice. "Best decision I ever made." Their faces dropped because they knew this wasn't for them anymore. I walked out, leaving them in stunned silence. They wanted me to be presentable for the wedding? Fine, but they had no idea just how much I was about to steal the show. The day of the wedding arrived. I wasn't nervous. I wasn't dreading it. In fact, I was excited, not because I cared about my sister's big day, but because my parents had spent months trying to mold me into their perfect plus one. And now, they were about to see just how much I had changed. And trust me, they weren't ready. I put on my new suit, tailored sleek, fitted perfectly. The moment I looked in the mirror, I knew. I wasn't just attending this wedding. I was about to steal the damn show. When I arrived at the venue, the reactions were immediate. A few distant relatives barely recognized me. Lily's bridesmaids, they straight up stared. And my parents, they looked like they were having an existential crisis. Mom was the first to speak. You bought a new suit." I smirked. Yeah, didn't want to look unpresentable. She opened her mouth, closed it, opened it again. Dad, meanwhile, just frowned. "You've been working out?" he asked, like it was a personal attack. I nodded. "Yep, almost a year now." His lips pressed into a thin line, like this was somehow bad news. Lily, standing nearby, folded her arms. "Well," she muttered, "it's not like this day is about you." Oh, but that's where she was wrong. At the reception, things got hilarious. Lily's new husband, who had never given me the time of day before, suddenly wanted to be my best friend. "Dude, what's your routine?" he asked, taking a sip of his beer. "You bulk first, then cut? Or did you just go straight into a deficit?" I raised an eyebrow. Where was this energy before? But the best part? The bridesmaids. A few of Lily's friends, who had completely ignored me at every family event, were now hovering. One even leaned over and whispered, "I swear I don't remember you looking like this." I just smiled. Because here's the thing. I wasn't interested. I didn't do this for them. I did it for me. But my parents, oh, they were fuming. At one point, I overheard Mom whispering to Lily, "He's acting so cocky now." Lily scoffed. "Right? It's so annoying." I almost laughed. When they thought I was out of shape, they treated me like an embarrassment. Now that I actually felt good about myself, that was a problem too. Make it make sense. Then came the moment I was waiting for. Family photos. Mom had spent months worrying about how I'd ruined them. But now, I stood front and center, confident as hell. And when the photographer reviewed the pictures, even he muttered, "Damn, man, you look sharp." Lily's expression? Priceless. By the end of the night, I was thriving. Meanwhile, my parents looked miserable. Not because anything had gone wrong, but because, for the first time, they weren't in control of me. And Lily? She hated that I was getting attention. But you know what? That was her problem. As I left, I turned to my parents and said, "Oh, by the way, thanks for the gym membership. Best decision I ever made." And then I walked out, leaving them to stew in their own regrets. After the wedding, I thought my parents would finally leave me alone. I was wrong, because a week later, Mom called me up, fake as ever. "Jake, sweetheart," she said, voice dripping with forced enthusiasm. "Your father and I were talking, and we think it would be so nice to have a little family dinner. Just us." I smirked. This wasn't a family dinner. This was a trap. I showed up anyway, not because I was falling for it, but because I wanted to see what ridiculous plan they had cooked up this time. And the second I walked in, I knew exactly what was happening. Sitting at the dinner table, looking painfully uncomfortable, was a random woman I had never seen before. A setup. Of course. Mom beamed. "Jake, this is Emily. She's Lily's friend from college. She's single, and we thought you two might get along." Emily, bless her soul, looked like she wanted to disappear. I just sighed. Wow. Subtle. Guys. Dad scoffed. "What's wrong with meeting someone nice?" I leaned back. "Oh, nothing. Just funny how, for years, you treated me like an embarrassment. Now, suddenly, you're trying to marry me off." Mom's smile faltered. "We were just trying to help," she muttered. I chuckled. "Oh, like how you helped by forcing me into a gym so I wouldn't ruin your wedding photos." Dad sighed heavily. "Jake, let's not be dramatic." "No, let's." I shot back. "Because here's the thing, you didn't do any of this for me. You did it to make yourselves look better." Silence. Emily, meanwhile, looked like she was rethinking her entire life. Finally, Lily spoke up. "You've changed," she muttered, arms crossed. I smirked. "Yeah, I did." She rolled her eyes. "You're full of yourself now." I laughed. "Nah, I just finally stopped giving a damn about what you guys think." Mom let out a dramatic sigh. "We were just trying to encourage you to take better care of yourself." I shook my head. "No, Mom. You didn't want me to be healthy. You wanted me to fit into your perfect little family image." Mom pursed her lips, clearly irritated that I wasn't playing along. "Jake, honey," she tried again, forcing a smile. "We only want what's best for you." I scoffed. "No, you want what makes you look good. Big difference." Emily, still sitting awkwardly at the table, was now picking at her napkin like she wanted to sink into the floor. I almost felt bad for her. Almost, because she wasn't the problem. They were. Dad, now visibly frustrated, leaned forward. "Listen, son," he said, voice low, like he was trying to sound reasonable. "We don't want to fight. We just think it's time you started focusing on your future. You're in great shape now. You're looking better than ever. Why not use that to your advantage?" I raised an eyebrow. "Use it how, exactly?" Mom jumped in. "To settle down. Meet someone nice. Now that you know," she gestured vaguely at me, like I was some home renovation project they had finally completed. I just laughed. A deep, genuine laugh. Because wow, they weren't even hiding it anymore. Lily, still looking annoyed, muttered under her breath, "You're being ungrateful." That wiped the smile off my face. I turned to her, my patience officially gone. "Ungrateful?" I repeated. "For what, exactly?" She rolled her eyes. "For everything we did for you. If we hadn't pushed you to go to the gym, you'd still be." She stopped herself, but I knew exactly what she was about to say. Still be a disappointment. And that pissed me off. I stood up, chair scraping loudly against the floor. "You know what, Lily?" I said, voice steady but sharp. "You and Mom and Dad have spent my entire life treating me like a damn charity case. Like I was some problem that needed fixing." Mom gasped. "Jake, that's not." "No." I cut her off. "You guys didn't care about me getting healthy. You cared about making me fit into your perfect wedding aesthetic. You were embarrassed of me. That's the truth. Silence. Dad clenched his jaw but said nothing. Lily shifted uncomfortably. Mom? She looked like she had just been slapped. And then, out of nowhere, Emily, the poor girl they had dragged into this mess, spoke up. Okay, yeah, I'm gonna go, she said, standing abruptly. Mom's head snapped toward her. Emily, wait. She held up a hand. No offense, but this is weird. I don't know why you thought setting me up with your son at a family dinner was a good idea, but I'm not interested in whatever this is. Then she turned to me. For what it's worth, Jake, you seem cool. I smirked. Thanks. Then she grabbed her bag and bolted. The second the door shut behind her, Mom lost it. This is your fault, she snapped at me. She was a lovely girl, and you scared her off. I laughed. Loudly. You ambushed me with a setup date at a dinner where I was supposed to get scolded like a child, I said. She was uncomfortable from the moment I walked in. That's on you. Mom, clench your fists. We were just trying to help you find a nice girl. You don't get to do that. I cut in. Not after everything. Not after treating me like garbage for years, and then suddenly deciding I was good enough now that I looked the way you wanted. Lily let out a frustrated sigh. God, Jake, why are you so angry? That did it. I turned to her, and for the first time in my life, I let her have it. I'm angry, I said, voice cold, because all of you made me feel like I wasn't worth anything unless I fit into your stupid, shallow standards. Lily scoffed. That's not. No, let me finish, I snapped. She went quiet. I took a deep breath. For years, I let you guys make me feel less than. I let you talk down to me, guilt me, push me around. And for what? Because I didn't look presentable enough for your wedding? Because I wasn't your perfect sibling? Lily opened her mouth. Shut it again. Dad? He stayed silent. But Mom? She went for the low blow. You wouldn't have changed if it weren't for us, she spat. I stilled. She folded her arms, doubling down. We gave you the push you needed. You're in the best shape of your life, and you want to act like that was all you're doing. She shook her head. No, Jake. You should be thanking us. I stared at her. Then, slowly, I smiled. Fine, I said, voice dead calm. You want to thank you? Here it is. I stepped closer, locking eyes with her. Thank you, I said, for showing me exactly who I never want to be. Her face fell. Thank you for making me realize that no matter how much I change, it'll never be enough for you. She flinched. Thank you, I continued, for treating me like I was worthless, because now I know my worth. I exhaled. And it's a hell of a lot higher than this family dinner. Then I grabbed my keys and walked out. As I stepped outside, I felt something I hadn't felt in years. Relief. Like I had finally cut the cord tying me to their approval. I wasn't doing this for them anymore. Never again. And for the first time, that felt really, really good. I didn't expect to hear from my parents again, not after completely shutting them down at that dinner. But of course, I underestimated just how desperate they could get. Because less than 24 hours later, my phone rang. And when I saw Mom's name on the screen, I just laughed. They were really about to try this, huh? I didn't answer. I let it ring. Then another call. Then another. Finally, a text popped up. Mom, Jake, we need to talk. Call me back ASAP. Yeah, that wasn't happening. Over the next week, they tried everything. The guilt trip texts, the fake concern, the classic, we're still your parents' speech. Even Lily joined in, sending a long, dramatic paragraph about how I was overreacting and hurting the family. I didn't reply to any of it, because for the first time, I didn't feel guilty. Then one night, Dad called, and against my better judgment, I picked up. Jake, he started, voice tired. I leaned back on my couch. Dad, he sighed. Are we really gonna do this? I smirked. Do what? This? He sounded frustrated, ignoring each other, acting like we're strangers. I raised an eyebrow. You mean like how you and Mom treated me for years? Yeah, it's weird, right? Silence. Then in a flat tone, he muttered, Your mother is very upset. I laughed, loudly. Oh, no, I said, mockingly. Not Mom. Say it ain't so. Jake. No. Seriously, I cut in. Did she actually expect me to roll over and thank her for treating me like garbage my whole life? Dad let out a long sigh. You're being childish. That pissed me off. I sat up. You think I'm the one being childish? Jake. No, I snapped. Let's talk about that. You guys spent years treating me like an embarrassment. Like I wasn't good enough to be part of this family. And the second I started standing up for myself, that's when I became the problem. Dad went silent. I wasn't done. And you know what the funniest part is? I let out a bitter chuckle. If I had stayed the way I was, if I had never gone to the gym, never lost weight, you'd still be treating me like I was beneath you. More silence. Then, finally, that's not true. I smirked. You sure about that? Because I was. I knew exactly how they operated. Dad cleared his throat. Look, we just want to move forward. I raised an eyebrow. Oh, so now that I look the way you wanted, you suddenly want a relationship. Jake, that's not. No, Dad. I cut in. I'm not stupid. You guys never wanted me around when I was unpresentable. But now that other people actually respect me, now you suddenly care. He exhaled sharply. Jake. I shook my head. No, I said, voice calm but firm. I don't owe you anything. And then I hung up. That was the last time I spoke to them. And honestly, it felt damn good. The months that followed were some of the best of my life. I focused on myself, my work, my goals. I built real friendships. I met people who actually valued me for who I was, not just how I looked. And my parents, they stayed miserable. At one point, Lily tried again. She sent a message out of nowhere. Lily, hey, it's been a while. I miss you. I stared at the screen for a long moment. Then I typed back, Me, you missed the version of me you could control. That guy's gone. Then I blocked her because I was done for good. One day, about a year later, I ran into someone from the wedding, one of Lily's bridesmaids. She did a double take when she saw me. Holy crap, Jake. I smirked. The one and only. She laughed. Damn, you look amazing. I shrugged. Thanks. Then, after a pause, she grinned. So, you ever think about dating? I chuckled. Maybe. But here's the thing. I wasn't rushing for anyone, because for the first time in my life, I was perfectly happy on my own, and nothing, asterisk, asterisk, not my parents, not my sister, not their toxic opinions, asterisk, asterisk, was ever going to change that again.